Alright, we're now going to do some work back on our chain. So when we crochet and it's like 2D like this, we are going to be turning our work when it's time for the next row, unless we're going around the edges or something fancy. But for the most part, you start off by at least turning to go back a row and then work back and forth. Right, so when I was stitching, I stitched these kind of in this direction, and now I want to turn around. So I grab it and I make sure this side is facing me and not this side. This side here is the back side of the chain, and this side here is the front side. The front side has the little like V's that kind of point to where you're going to put your hook. So I'm not going to go in this immediate first chain from my hook because it'd be very hard to do, right? I'm going to go into the one next to that. And my hook has this nice little point to it, so it's kind of easy to go into the bottom of this stitch here. If you noticed, when I put my hook into the chain, I now have these 2 loops on top. So if you follow what I said, the little like point here, you want these 2 strands to be above your hook when you put your hook in. That way it is secured into the stitch and it's not just the top loop. And then to make the stitch, we're going to yarn over and pull back just through the chain like this. Now we have 2 loops and we're going to yarn over and pull through both loops. This is our single crochet. This is our single crochet into a chain stitch. So let's do that again. We're going to go underneath the chain, yarn over and pull just back through the chain, yarn over again and pull back through both of our loops. Now when we go into the chain and we yarn over and pull back, if you notice I am twisting my hook. I'm going to show you why twisting the hook is so helpful here. If I wrap my hook and I pull like this, it's kind of hard to get anything to happen. But if I wrap my hook and I pull with it down, you can see the shape of it is matching the loop that we have that we're trying to work through, so it goes through a lot easier. So something to keep in mind when you're learning to crochet is that you're moving your hook and you're twisting it, or if you're wrapping, you're understanding why just pulling straight through instead of lifting over the stitch would be more helpful than the other, right? And that's stuff that you just get used to as you work. It takes a lot of practice, and I'm gonna keep saying that again and again because it is very true. And I teach a lot of people to crochet, and it can be very overwhelming. You are not alone if you're overwhelmed by crochet or frustrated, but it is so worth it if you keep going and find like your own crochet rhythm, you know? Because at the end of the day, most people crochet a little unique way on their own. So as long as you're making stitches and they work and they're comfortable, that's all we need to worry about. Okay, so now I'm turning again because I finished that row. This is my row of single crochet into a chain stitch. And we can count how many stitches I've done by looking up top here, looking at the side. I'm gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 6 stitches here. I'm gonna go ahead and turn and go back the other way so I can show you what it looks like to do a single crochet into a single crochet as opposed to a chain stitch. First, I'm gonna chain 1 because I'm turning. And when we turn a row, we usually chain at least 1, depending on how tall the stitch is, so that we have the movement to go back and it's not squishing at the sides. So now I've chained 1, I'm going to go into the stitch. So this is my first stitch. You can also see we have the 2 loops, kind of like when we were doing the chain stitch. Yarning over, coming back through, and then yarning over and going back through the loops. That's me making another stitch. So now I'm going to go into there. Right, this is my next stitch. can tell that it's here, not just this loop, that would be different. Or I could do just the back loop, but those again are separate stitches. So I'm going to go into both of them for the standard single crochet stitch. And I'm going to go here, here, and here. Now let's make sure I still have my 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okie doke. This was single crochet, which is nice. It's a very short stitch, so you don't see as much through it. It can be also really good if you're making something that you want to have more structure in it. I tend to use it the most when I make amigurumi or wearable pieces around areas that I don't want to be as easy to see through.